Hello and welcome to the Franchise Marketing Show. The video or the podcast you're about to watch or listen to was recorded at the British and International Franchise Exhibition at Olympia. It was a very busy event, so there was a little bit of background noise, so it wasn't filmed in a recording studio or anything like that, but it is a really interesting conversation. Hope you enjoy it.
Hi Karen.
Hi Steph.
Welcome to the Franchise Marketing Show. We are live from the British and International Franchise Exhibition. How are you doing?
I'm doing really well, thank you. It's a really good turnout, isn't it? There's lots of really interesting people here.
Yeah, definitely. So for those who don't know you, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah. So I am the owner and managing director of the company with the longest name in the world, so Franchise Business Training and Consultancy, but we do what it says on the tin. So we do financial training and business consultancy for both franchisors and franchisees. So helping them to understand their numbers, helping them to do some forecasting, helping them to do some business planning, either to get themselves started or to grow, or even to exit, depending on what it is that they want to do.
Okay, that sounds quite interesting. So, numbers is beyond me. So you're like the opposite of me. How do you find that people relate to, when you start talking numbers with franchisees and that kind of thing, how do people relate to that?
So there's a lot of, I can't do that.
Yeah.
To start off with, because I think it's that hang up from school. I was never very good at maths at school, and I don't really do numbers, just like you said. People kind of shut down and say, nah, it's not really me. But as a business owner, you need to understand the numbers.
Yeah.
And I was saying to the ladies from Guardian Angels earlier, it's not about having the calculator and being able to press the buttons, because you can get a spreadsheet or a program to tell you that. What you need to do is then understand what those numbers are telling you about your business. So it's not about, can I press the right buttons on a calculator? It's, do I understand the answers? And are they giving me answers that are good about my business, or are they telling me that I might have a bit of a problem? Because your numbers will act as a warning sign or a confirmation that you're doing it right, as long as you can read them and understand them.
Yeah, and obviously you've got that understanding. How did that come about? Like, how did you come to work with numbers?
Well, my background is in banking, so I did 31 years in banking. I started when I was 6, for anybody that's now trying to do the maths on that. Although I wouldn't say numbers was my natural thing, I've worked with them long enough to get that level of understanding. And I've also trained bankers as well, so I've trained people sitting on the other side of the desk how to read a business plan, how to look at the numbers. So part of what I hope I'm bringing to the table is I can tell you what the answers need to be that you provide before somebody asks a question. So with a bit of luck, if you're doing a business plan, it should tick all the boxes, and there should be less people coming back with, what about this, what about that, because we've covered as many of the bases as we can.
Okay, so how did you go from banking to setting up your own business and then coming into the franchise industry?
Well, that was a bit of a circuitous journey, I think. So I started off my first business when I left banking, because they made me redundant, which was, I then had the comfort of, a bit of money in the bank when you first start, which is always, and I'd always wanted to run my own business, just never really had the confidence to do it, whereas having a bit of money behind you means I'm not thinking about how do I pay the bills every day.
Yeah.
But my first business was as a broker. A finance broker, so my last job in the bank was in property, and so I lent to the property developers when the property boom was on, and then I spent 2 years trying to get it back after the property crash. Learned lots and lots about people and banking at that point, and what people do under pressure. But because the high street banks then kind of brought the shutters down and weren't lending, the small scale house builders couldn't find funding. So I did what I used to call a corporate matchmaking service, is matching them to people who could provide the funding. That background in banking, so I was doing that, and then I got an approach from Franchise Finance, who needed another trainer to do their financial training, and it was just, so my cash flow in my business was very lumpy because I only got paid when somebody got their money. So I started to do training work to level the cash flow out. So it was a bit more, you do it, get paid, whereas it was a bit more lumpy in the property part. And so that's what got me into franchising. I worked under their umbrella as a consultant, and then when the franchise finance business was sold, Hitachi took it on, and then as Hitachi sort of stepped back from the training, the clients came to me and said, well, can you do it for us? So that kind of, it morphed its way into what I'm doing now.
And how would you describe the franchise industry overall?
I like the franchise industry because I think it gives the opportunity for people to fulfill the dream of having their own business. And a franchisor once described it to me as being in business with the training wheels on.
Like that.
So actually, and I thought, I've remembered that, because that to me is what it is. You've got that, I'm running my business, but I've got this umbrella, and I've got this support, and I've got somebody that I can turn to. Because running your own business can be quite lonely, whereas you've got an infrastructure around you, so you can do it your way, and it's your responsibility, but there's some support there for you. So that to me is the positive of franchising. Is that support that's there.
Yeah.
The training wheels.
Yeah, definitely. And obviously, for women, that's an important aspect, is having that supportive network around. As women, we love to kind of be around other women and just learn and just do lots of stuff together. So.
Yeah. And I think it also gives you, there's that many different franchises that you can do. You've got the opportunity to work it around lifestyle choices as well, whether you're sort of flexible hours and things, that it's got a lot more flexibility, and it's a lot more family friendly, and that sort of thing I think is quite important as well.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
For people who've got an ambition, it's I'm not going to say it's an easy way in, but it's an easier introduction. I think.
Nothing's easy.
No, it's not. No, nothing's ever easy. And certainly running your own business isn't easy, but it's a more comfortable introduction, a softer introduction, I think.
Yeah, definitely. And in terms of, I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit here. Sorry, not sorry. But in terms of the industry and the number of franchise brands out there, obviously there's over 900. If you were going to start your career over again and you were going to invest in a franchise or I'm not going to ask you to name a name, but what kind of franchise would you if you were going to go back and start a franchise, what sector do you think you would go into?
Somebody once said to me, if you're going to run a business, choose something you are passionate about, because the more passionate you are about it, the less it feels like work, because again it can be that bit of a hamster wheel and a bit so something that I was really, really interested in, and I'm a bit of a foodie, so that sort of thing, or even a lifestyle business, something like around pet care of all things. And I think that would be something but it's something that catches you. It's something that actually means something to you. So it's a bit difficult to put my exact finger on it, but it would be a lifestyle business, but something that actually I felt passionate about.
Yeah. That's really nice to hear, actually. Because I think it's true. I think the franchise industry, with there being so many brands in every sector that you can think of, you can choose something that you are passionate about. You don't have to just choose a job for the sake of having a job, like we used to have to do 30 odd years ago. People are able to kind of pick and choose what they want to do.
It's like when you're talking to a school child and say, what do you want to do when you leave school? So we make a decision at the age 16, 18, 21 about what we're going to do for the rest of our lives. At least we used to. I don't think we do so much now, but because there's a bit more fluidity in the job market. But it's hard to make a decision at that stage. So as people mature and I think that's the time to actually think, right now, what does it I really want to do?
Yeah, exactly. So Karen, you're here at the show. Mm-hmm. You've been here just today, is that right?
Yeah.
How are you finding walking around and talking to people?
It's been good for me today, because my client base are mainly the people who are exhibiting here, so the franchisors, and I think today is a bit more relaxed for them, and therefore they're quite happy to have a conversation with me, whereas I think probably yesterday they would be more interested in talking to potential franchisees rather than talking to me. So it's been nice to put some. It's not as full on today. It's a bit more relaxed, and I think people are quite happy to have a chat. Part of it is just about relationship building and putting faces to names. I was saying to somebody earlier that I've met people here that I've worked with for 12 months but only met on Zoom. And it's quite nice to actually put a face to a.
I see the whole body rather than just like the head and the shoulders. Oh, you have got legs.
And I actually think, do you look different on Zoom?
There's no filter.
No, I know. Yeah. Somebody introduced himself to me and I kind of went, oh right. And I thought, oh, whoops. Yes, I do know you. You don't look like you do on the telly.
That's quite funny. My final question, Karen. In terms of the support, you've talked about the supportive atmosphere that franchising is.
Yeah.
Of the people that you're around and have been able to connect with, who would you say has influenced you or that you've been inspired by through your franchise journey?
Ooh, that's a difficult question.
Sorry.
I think that, who have I been inspired by? I think at a corporate level, I'm quite. It sounds like I'm blowing smoke, but I quite like the work that the BFA are doing and doing that. Being in banking in the property sector, I did a lot of women-only events, which I have to say I thought were a waste of time, because we were getting the wrong people at the events. Not the senior people in the business. Being property were all men, so what was the point of going to a women-only event? Because it was the wrong thing. But I like the work that the BFA are doing to sort of make. So when I went to the Women in Franchising event, that kind of blew me away a bit. I thought, well, wow, a women-only event that actually, has got some wow factor behind it. So that is something that I've really I've linked with. And the standout person for me, I think, is, and I've never met her, but Farrah Rose is somebody that I've when I've listened to her and I thought, I get what you're talking about, and I do think that she's quite an inspirational figure. That, like I said, I've never met her. I've only ever seen her present, and I've read things that she's written. But so she would be somebody that I would put up there as a.
That's really good to know. Karen, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for joining me on the show.
Thank you so much.
If any franchisors wanted to get in touch with you, how would they contact you?
Well, they can we've got contact details on the website. So if they just go to, or they can email me direct. So
what's your website?
So the website is Franchise Business Training and Consultancy. Which is the longest name in the world, or the email address is just karen@franchisebtc.co.uk.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
Thank you.